Today we're going to be using equivalent fractions to find common denominators, and we're going to start with the fraction half. And I want to find a fraction equivalent to half, and to do that I'm going to draw a line. And now I'm going to make this into fourths. So 1/2 equals 2/4. They are equivalent. One way to do that, as I just showed you, is with the picture. Another way is to multiply. And one thing I want you to think about, and we talked about this in class, I'm going to use the example of 5 times what equals 5. Equivalent or equal, we want to get an answer that's equivalent. So 5 times what equals 5? Well, hopefully you're thinking 1. 5 times 1 equals 5. We're going to do the same thing with fractions. We want to get an amount that's the same, but we want different size pieces. So we're going to multiply by 1, but we're going to multiply by 1 in the form of a fraction. So if I stuck with my numbers 1/2 here, 1/2 times what would equal 2/4? And we want our answer, or it needs to be 1. This needs to be equivalent to 1. So 1/2 times the fraction 2/2 equals 2/4. So we could picture this in our head as 1 times 2 equals 2 over 2 times 2 equals 4. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. That gives us 2/4. Now, let's put this into practice by adding 1/2 plus 2/3. 1/2 plus 2/3. And I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to start with the fraction 2/2, 3/3, and 4/4. Might need to go farther than that, but for now we'll start with those fractions. And remember, those are all equivalent to 1. And we know that in order to add fractions, they have to have a common denominator. And we're going to find common denominators using equivalent fractions. So if our fractions again are 1/2 and 2/3, that's not a good color to use, we'll go with this one, 2/3, 1/2 times 2/2, we already know that is 2/4. Then we also, let me change the color on that. We know that's 2/4. We know that 1/2 times 3/3 is 3/6. And then 1/2 times 4/4 is going to be 4/8. Now if we do the same thing for 2/3, 2/3 times 2/2 is 4/6. 2/3 times 3/3 is 6/9. And 2/3 times 4/4 is 8/12. So comparing the blue in the peach color, we need to look and find fractions that have the same denominator. So in this case, these both have a denominator of 6. So we can use these to add our fractions together. If 1/2 equals 3/6 and 2/3 equals 4/6, we can go ahead and add those together, and we get the answer 7/6. You can leave the answer like that, and we'll spend more time on this in other videos, but you could also write this answer as 1 and 1/6. So we can use equivalent fractions to help us add fractions together with unlike denominators. Okay, moving on to the practice portion at the bottom of your home link. There's some multiplication today, and it's asking you to find the actual answer and the estimate. So we're going to start with the estimate first, and for that, to estimate, we are going to round both numbers. And in this case, we're going to round the 624 to the nearest 100. So in that case, it is going to be 600. Then we're going to round the 47 to the nearest 10. And a reminder, if we're rounding to this place here, so the tens place, we're going to look to the number to the right. If this number is 5 or higher, it's going to round to the next number. So this is it's going to round up to 50. So 47 then rounds to 50. And 600 times 50, we've been practicing these. There's a variety of ways to think about it, but this ends with 3 zeros. So we're going to put down our 3 zeros. And then 6 times 5 is 30. So our estimate for this problem is approximately 30,000. Okay, let's go to the actual answer. For our actual answer, we're going to multiply all the numbers on top with our ones place. So 4 times 7 is 28. Then 2 times 7 is 14. We add the 2 for 16. 6 times 7 is 42, plus 1 is 43. Now we're done with the ones place, and we're going to be moving on to the tens place. Because we're multiplying by the tens place, we can put our 0 down there as our placeholder. And then, just like with the ones place, we multiply all the numbers on the top with the tens place. So 4 times 4 is 16. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. 6 times 4 is 24. And once we reach that portion, then we go ahead and add those two numbers together. We add our two products together. 8 plus 0 is 8. 6 plus 6 is 12. 1 and 9 are 10, plus 3 is 13. 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. And there's nothing to add to the 2. So our actual answer is 29,328, which is pretty close to our estimate. If you have any questions on any of this, make sure you ask your teacher at school tomorrow. Have a good day.